What? Just your overall impressions. Like, go to the first half, because that's.
Yeah, I mean, I like the simplicity of it is I thought the kids wanted it more. They were the more physical team. Again, very veteran team, championship team, and they wanted it more. And at the end of the day, to win football games, I don't care who it is, where it is, but especially on the road, your physicality's got to show up, your 1-2's got to show up. And, unfortunately for us consistently doing that, and I'm not saying we didn't want to win the football game, but I'm saying a lack of consistency and a lack of urgency, and especially in some areas, continue to show up, and we got to get it fixed. It's our responsibility. It's really my responsibility.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I don't know. I look at those things. I start with myself. I've told you this, it's my responsibility to get the football team to play. It's my responsibility for them to have a sense of urgency. So there's nobody to blame but myself. But again, we have to continue to look on how we get corrections and continue to have it. And then again, there's a lot of good stuff. Man, Rocco Beck, I thought, played his tail off. Man, we made some plays defensively at times when we needed to. I thought, other than the field goal situation, I thought we did some really good things on special teams. And, the lack of consistency is hurting our football team to win football games. So, great growth opportunity for us to move forward, to be honest.
It seemed like the running backs, for the most part, didn't even have a chance. They were living in your backfield.
Yeah.
What were the breakdowns for the offensive line?
Well, lack of physicality. I mean, it's embarrassing. We continue to struggle there right now, and again, that is an area for us. If we are going to take a step forward, that group has got to be a group that steps forward for us. And we've got too good of players to be able to do it. But again, it's great to have talent, but you got to want to demand to do it, and we got to do a better job. And again, we got to do a better job too. We're trying to put them in the best situations. I don't know what that looked like, and on Tuesday I'll probably be able to give you a better clarity on that piece of it. But I thought their D-line physically got after us the entire day.
That's Ryan's emphasis to that group. What does it say that they're not being able to execute that vision?
Yeah, I don't think it's a Ryan Clanton thing. I think it's I just think it's man, again, and if we look back over, and I hate to do this, but you look at the last 2 years, I think that's an area where the inconsistencies in our football program, man, we've not taken another step forward. So, obviously that group's challenged right now, and we've got to be better on the offensive line for sure.
What about the food poisoning?
Yeah, just a weird deal. It really ran through us, the last 48 hours, and that's part of the sport. So, it kind of affected Jalen, and affected Cartavius a little bit, affected Rocco, and, kind of went through us. So it just, man, that stuff happens.
Did it happen? Did you get it down here, or did you get it?
When we landed, yep.
Gary just not ready?
Not ready. I would hope that, by next week he's ready to go. I thought he made some progress, but again, that's nothing that you can mess with and nothing that we can mess with right now. So, we're going to do right by Gary and make sure he's healthy.
When you get back to Ames, what's the message got to be? It feels like this could be an inflection point. You're 1-2 with this loss to go forward into Big 12 play.
Man, you got a really good Big 12 opponent coming. I think you're at the first third of the football season, and there is growth and improvement in a lot of areas, and there's areas where we're just not good enough to be where we need to be. And so I think the only thing is you got to go back to work. The sense of urgency obviously would be at an all-time high, but there is youth, and that youth has got to continue to grow itself forward, and we got to do a great job as coaches is putting our kids in the best position to do that.
Did anybody on that field goal team come back and say, hey, it's good?
Yeah, I at least our kicker and our holder both said that it went in, and that's, whether it did or it didn't, again, you put the game in the hands of judgment calls, and that's tough. And, I think when I even think about it, honestly, Randy, it's still a matter of, I've always said, luck and making the ball bounce your way, that's on us, and it is on us. And we didn't play good enough to win the football game today.
Is that something you can have reviewed?
It's not something that is reviewable.
Your defense, what did you see from that? Obviously,
really good in some critical moments, and I think Coach would tell you too. There were opportunities when we had a chance to flip the field though today, and I think you look at the last 2 weeks where you kind of gave them some get out of jail free opportunities, and again, we're playing good defense. We'll continue to play good defense, and there's all three phases of the game. There's some moments and opportunities where we can really flip the game, and we just haven't made those plays in the last 2 weeks.
When you push the ball ball on that touchdown drive in the fourth quarter, did that unlock something, or is that
I
situation?
think we'll have to see. I think all things have to be looked at, right? I mean, there's been some really good moments. It's been a lack of consistency, but I agree with you. There were some moments there in the fourth quarter where you really were confident about what our football team was doing, and the ability for Rocco. I thought he did some great things. I was really proud of him. He gutted it out today. He was a warrior today for us.